TIFU by smoking weed for the first time and trusting my friend on the dosage. I need better friends. I've never smoked weed. Ever. In fact, I haven't taken any mind-altering drugs ever, including alcohol. So I let my good friend know that. He, being the generous stoner he is, tells me that he got me covered. I say fuck it, sure. I go to his place and we get set up. He brings some snacks and pulls out his collection of spaceship-looking bongs and a small jar. I asked him where the weed was and he told me that no one smokes straight-up plant anymore and that oil is the way to go. First fuck up was not realizing what that meant. He fires up a lighter that works like a blowtorch and heats it up and then scoops up some of the wax. He takes a hit to show me how to do it. He then tells me that since it's my first time, 3 hits should be enough. Second fuck up. The big one. I basically take what I later learned to be 3 fat dabs, as people apparently call it, within 30 seconds. He congratulates me on not coughing for whatever fucking reason and starts laughing like a maniac. I ask him if I did something wrong and he assured me that I didn't and to strap in for the ride. For like a solid minute I was all good and didn't feel anything. Then the TV screen started to look a little funny and the text seemed a little bolder. I decided to look at my hands and holy shit. It looked like I was a cartoon or animation character. It was like I was playing a FPS video game or something. My hands almost had an outline like it was drawn. I extended my arms and it looked like I was stretching beyond my physical limits. I could not remember what I was thinking 10 seconds ago. It was like I was living life in 10-second increments. We were watching a movie and whenever the scene would change, I would completely forget what happened in the last scene. He then told me that it would be a good idea to dim the lights and turn on his LED light strip. It had a function where it would change color and flash based on the beat of the music that's playing. I laid on the bed and watched the lights change and listened to some good music. I shit you not, I was probably on the bed watching the lights for at least an hour and a half. At first the lights were just flashing, but as I watched it more and more, every flash turned into a bloom of fractals that felt like they were physically touching me and controlling my breathing and heartbeat. Anyways, after a while I get hungry and spread some Nutella on a sliced bread. I put it in my mouth and within 30 seconds, I'm in tears. It just tastes so fucking good. My friend asks me if I'm okay and why I am crying. All that came out of my mouth was, Nutella is God. What I really meant was that it tasted like I consumed a piece of divinity, like God himself blessed my taste buds. I was slurping that shit like a 4-year-old eating fries. After a while, I fell asleep and woke up feeling fine. I wasn't ready to be that high. TLDR. My friend gave me, a weed-smoking virgin, way too high of a dose and got me high enough to worship Nutella. Yay, this could have been so much worse. Greater than no one smokes straight plant anymore? Your friend is strange. That's a great trip. Mine, I threw up all over their living room and scared my friend. Trust me, yours will be a great memory to look back on. Greater than, I could not remember what I was thinking 10 seconds ago. It was like I was living life in 10-second increments. I felt this in my fucking soul. As an everyday smoker, and someone who's been smoking weed for about 10 years, not daily consistent the whole time, I can't stand stoners who do this to new smokers. I want people to enjoy themselves, not hurt themselves. Screw that dude. Also, I smoke plant. Have been forever. Oil, dabs are always and have always been too strong for me. In my first year of smoking I was into the, let's smoke as much as we can, but with the stuff they have out now it's much easier to get to a point that's uncomfortable. Edit. For reference, my daily smoke is a few, maybe 1 or 2, hits of Jack Herer, preferably. I like to say I use it like others would have, a beer after work. I come home, eat, relax, and have a hit, that's all I need. Hasn't always been that way. When I was younger I smoked more but less frequent. Also, thanks for the awards, kind strangers. Did not expect this to blow up. Nah, there's something a little wrong with someone who claims to be your friend absolutely blasting your mind without at least giving you the information to make the decision yourself. Good thing it was just weed and not something stronger. I smoked seeds and sticks out of an aluminum can in the desert in 120-degree weather. You got a way better end of the deal. I remember when I got high like that. The good old days. No one smokes plant anymore, he's an idiot. Dabs should probably not be a first-timer's way to go, especially 3 tokes. But it seems like you had a solid stone and didn't green out, which is good. He's a prick for doing that to you for the first time. Your friend was an idiot. He may have not known better, but definitely never trust one person's word again when it comes to drugs, weed, alcohol. That was way too much for a novice. I've had 2 of these times where I consumed too much weed and it sucked. Especially in one case where I was literally praying I would go to sleep ASAP and wake up sober because I was terrified I'd stay in that state of mind and end up in a psych ward. Terrifying. I'm really glad your unwitting trip turned out okay for you, despite your idiot friend. Your friend's kind of a dick. Also, am I just officially old now? The "no one smokes flower anymore" part made me insecure. That's honestly a terrible friend and you should never trust him again with that kind of stuff. You're incredibly lucky that it was a good trip. 3 dab hits the very first time you smoke was the dumbest thing you could have done. People do in fact still smoke herb and joints and shit as well as edibles. Probably a bit much, but it sounds like you had about the best possible results and an amusing story. People definitely smoke straight up plant still. I have never been this high on weed. This sounds more like an acid or mushroom trip. Your friend is an asshole and should not be trusted with anything ever. Your writing is golden, haha. High enough to worship Nutella is a phrase I will use in the future. I'm glad you made it through relatively unscathed. For the future, you really only need a little puff of herb to feel the effects and enjoy them if you don't smoke often. Happy experimenting. Sounds like a good time. You are lucky you didn't have a panic attack. 3 dabs for your first time is a lot. The first fuck up wasn't even the oil part. As soon as he pulled out a bong you should have no-ped out. For the first time he should have rolled a joint and let you take 3 to 4 hits and wait a few minutes for you to see how you like it. Handing you a bong is the equivalent to handing you your first beer and say that you have to completely chug it down immediately. Only in this case it was even more like a bottle of vodka instead of beer.